Good morning and welcome again to Summit. It's the first working day of the week, and that's because Monday and Tuesday were public holidays in commemoration of the Eid al-Kabir celebration. So today people are back to work and work has started. But we are here on the program to bring you and to discuss some national issues. You're welcome again to the program. My name is Jumoke Michaels. Banji.
Yeah, Jumoke, it's nice and it's my pleasure to be back here.
Yes.
For me, it was a long holiday, and thank God I have opportunity of being here today. I know Muslims are still sharing rams. Those who could not attend are now receiving rams in offices. Well, I say, well, eat as much as you can take. I mean, for as long as you are still celebrating, you have the privilege to take. My name is Banji Busari, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so on the program this morning, we'll be looking at three national issues. We'll be looking at the first one is talking about the Kuje Correctional Facility and how to forestall future occurrence. And then we'll also talk about ending the ASU lingering strike. And then thirdly, we'll be talking about the APC Muslim ticket. That's what's generating a lot of discourse right now. And so we'll be also looking at that. We have two guests on the program. Of course, the first person will just be talking about the Kuje Correctional Center issue. And then we'll also have a guest who will be talking about the three topics. We have Dr. Adekunle Ojo, the former National Vice President of the Nigerian Bar Association, here with us in the studio. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning, viewers. Yeah, I'm happy to be with you.
It's our pleasure to have you, sir.
And we also have joining us via Zoom, retired Major Yinka of the United States Army. So he'll be joining us via Zoom when the time is right. But we'll start off the discussion with Dr. Adekunle Ojo here in the studio.
Well, that attack, I know it's no longer news. A lot of people have described it as audacious. Do you agree it was audacious?
If there is a better way of putting it, it's more than being audacious. It shows great guts. It shows that, you imagine that 300 men on foot, not that they didn't come with vehicles. They came barefooted, perhaps with shoes, right? But then, you see, they had that God. They had the plan. It was a well-planned, well-orchestrated attack. They took their time. They calculated so well, and it's unfortunate that they were all... we are not aware that there was any casualty amongst them. Not even one was caught out of 300. Quite boastful, quite audacious. And it's terrible that if they could carry out that kind of a thing, because, and at the end of the day, what do we have? Not even one person was caught. They killed one civil defense person, then they killed about four inmates, and you see, and you imagine where the Kuje, because I've been there before, and I know where it's sited, where it's situated in Abuja. It's in the midst of what you could call fortified forces. You have the army, you have the navy, you have the immigration services, you have the civil defense headquarters, you have the divisional police headquarters close by, and all whatnot. And you imagine again, it's quite funny, it's quite appalling that we could have that kind of a thing, and they will just come and they will go. At a point, I heard that, maybe I read it in the news, that prior to that time, there was a set of
security report.
No, not just the security report, that they knew there was an intelligence report that there was going to be an attack. According to the Controller General, he said they weren't sure whether it was going to be on Kuje or elsewhere. But that should have prepared you people for any eventuality. And again, you now ask me, the security men that were on guard were just changed few hours before that incident, meaning that meaning that they are insiders. I won't say they are the insiders are still there. They planned it very well and they carried it out seamlessly.
Are you suggesting it was in collaboration with the insiders?
Apparently, I mean, they wouldn't do that without they wouldn't do that without some compromise. But knowing those who compromise, it's a different ball game. But then the way it was done, it was almost without any resistance. That's the truth. It was with none, because there is no record that there was a resistance. It was they came and they left, they destroyed, they killed, and they took away their 64 men or 68 thereabout. So I think for me, really, it was like a well-planned one. And if you listen to the Controller General of the correctional facilities, you will see in his speech, you decipher that, look, they were not prepared to even checkmate at all. He said something, and it's most alarming. When the minister came there, he said that was the most, one of the best fortified. But when the Controller General came there, he said we did not, that the facilities that we have was not with a mind that there could be a terrorist attack. And you kept terrorists in that place. So all of these excuses are not only lame, it's like a dog that is lame. So we are getting nowhere, and it shows that our security apparatus, our security architecture is nothing to write home about. That's the truth.
We know that in the last few years, there's been several jailbreaks.
Yeah, about 14 since 2015.
2015.
We've had that's the 14th.
All right, so even though all this had occurred, don't you think that at the point, I think we even had one earlier this year, sometime in March or April. Yeah. We had one. Don't you think that true negligence is what enabled this attack to be so successful? Because nothing new had been done, and it's on record that this administration has been the one that has put in so much money into running these correctional centers. What are these funds being used for if it's not?
Yes, you call it negligence, but I would rather prefer that we call it ineptitudeness. It's just, you know what to do. It is not for lack of fund, that's one. It is not because you like it to go that other way, but because you don't have the will to do it. The money is there. An average, I've come to realize one thing, that an average Nigerian, we are peculiar people, that's the truth. These are things we need to work on. A policeman who is going to the office in the morning is praying that he could make money today. Is the police station supposed to be a cash office or a bank where you make money? So a prison officer too, as he's going, he cares more about when people are coming, Oga, hope everything is correct, sir. What do you have for us, sir? That is the correctional warders. The military men, because there is a checkpoint. Yes. Close to that very place where you have detachment of police, army, and all whatnot. All that you get is, Oga, hope all is correct. No proper checking is being done by anybody. Everybody seems to care more about how will I survive. So apparently, even including, take it, the minister himself, the Controller General himself, and every other person, it means that apparently nobody seems to be bothered. Sometimes ago, somebody cried out, he said, look, money that was supposed to be devoted to combat crime was splitted between, was shared, just using your language, between some top-notch officers. The man was taken away from the army. Eventually, the man became the chief of army staff, but you could recollect what happened to him. He spent a few months, if he spent up to months, and he was killed. That was Atairu, because he cried while he was serving under Buratai. He cried and he said money that was meant to do certain things were not. The man was suspended immediately. So apparently what we have in this country is people that care more about what comes to them, and thinking that, look, it doesn't matter if money is voted to a particular office, and you have a matter, look, yes, if it is 100,000 naira, let 30,000 be spent for the purposes of that office. Let 30,000 naira be kept for the rainy day. That is kept, I don't know where you are keeping it, and the other 30 is kept to massage the egos of the boys and the officers there. Then the other 10,000, yes, we will know what to do about it. I've seen somebody who made the analogy to me. And as we speak today, is a top-notch, high-ranking public servant in the country. So we have problem. That's the truth.
Let's talk about the preparedness of the in terms of prepared security arrangement in case of such. I mean, the unfortunate incident. We are told that about 100 security personnel were in charge of Kuje prisons
After the incident.
After the incident. Now 100. This 100, we don't even know how many were on duty on that fateful day. But you just told us 300 terrorists, ISWAP members came to attack
on foot.
So could we say they were really overwhelmed?
They were overwhelmed. If you cast your mind back to the statement credited to the Controller General, he said, one, they were not prepared for a terrorist attack. So they were not prepared to even defend. That's number one. Then number two, he said their ICT is exceedingly poor. It's nothing to write home about. He said they don't have enough officers. That was the way he put it, or enough personnel. That was the way he put it. But then I would rather say qualified, competent personnel. That's what he said. And again, he said something. He said they came in some with some equipment that they could not match. Not even the 100 so-called security people would have matched them.
Rockets.
They came with rockets. They came with all sorts of things that were as if it was a war. And we were not prepared for that kind of a thing. And you imagine that they spent 3 solid hours. 3 solid hours in a place that could be reached within 45 minutes by the army, in a place that could be reached within 35 minutes by the immigration, in a place that could be reached within another 35 minutes by the civil defense, in a place that could be reached by the police within 14 minutes, by the divisional police officers within 14 minutes. Then what are we talking about? So it's just, we don't have the willpower. Nobody wants to die. We don't really have to. You see, at times when you see military men, when you see even the paramilitary men, and they are harassing the civilians, some of us laugh.
Yes.
Much easier for you to attack the civilians, but when the real thing comes out, you are nowhere to be found. Okay, we shouldn't find ourselves in this kind of situation.
I know you are not a security expert. Let's take the discussion further. The military or the people in charge of managing security said the Boko Haram insurgency war has not abated because it's not the normal conventional war. It's an asymmetric war. Now this one that is within the city of Abuja, that we could not stop, we could not prevent, and even when they attack him, we could not match the superior capacity in terms of equipment and all that. What's the hope that even the main one, that's the insurgency war, will not take decades before we're able to put it an end to it?
Well, ordinarily, let me highlight two other issues that I have not talked about. They said before you get to the Kuje prisons, I know that there is these trees that are planted there. These what do you call it? These Igunu trees. I don't know what the English name is. Apparently, if you cover the road with such things, it's going to be much more difficult for you to even see, to have a view of what is coming towards you. That's one. Number two, we are not aware that there is any situation tower within the perimeter survey
to monitor
that is within the perimeter wall of the correctional center. That's a problem. Then what you have is within. That means that your major projection is to ensure that no prisoner runs away. Not to convert, because if you've had 13, every prison, every correctional facility should be prepared that it could be their turn. So no one was prepared for that. Having said that, but if you look at, I mean, nobody's even sure that the CCTV camera
we're working
in that place. So if you have all of this in place, then it will sum it up to one thing that, look, if we are, and again, let me ask you one thing. You have like 68 Boko Haram top-notchers arrested and kept, and you are keeping them in the same place. Does that make sense? That's not intelligence. That is not issue. If you are keeping them in one place, then it means that you have exposed that facility to a lot of attack. Why not distribute them? If you pick IPOP person, you take him away from the east, isn't it? And you keep him, you spread them around prison facilities, correctional facilities in the north. Why not do the same thing? Take these guys away, keep them in separate places. You don't keep them in one place, because keeping them in one place, you have exposed that place to greater risk.
And they're high-profile ones.
And the high-profile ones, that is number. Then when you now look at it very well, then you imagine if there is a war situation with the kind of attitude that we have, with the kind of attitude that has been exhibited, with the kind of money that we have pushed into, that we have pumped into the military, and nothing seems to be coming out of it, then we shouldn't pray for war. Humbly speaking. And that is more reason why it has become much more difficult. And you know it's business now. I will say that. For those that are coming in, because at times people ascribe it to religion. Some of us have come to understand that there is more of business in it than religion. They are not really out propagating Islam. That's the truth.
The terrorists have proved that they are unstoppable.
Yes. And that is business for them.
There is business and they are unstoppable.
Yeah.
There is no, I'm beginning to imagine that they can decide, wake up and decide to attack government house. Yeah. I do not think any government house has about 100 soldiers or military people manning any government house or any residence of governors in this country. Yeah. In which case, even the governors, the top military, wherever they are, all the hierarchy of government, can also be subjected to that kind of attack. And then you hear cases of kidnapping of governors, kidnapping of high-profile government people. That, do you not think this is serious, more than serious, for us to gain the attention of the president?
No, if you look at that's why I said it is more than audacity. If you look at the bravado displayed recently by this same bandit in Katsina, not the main convoy, the advanced party of the president, was attacked. So apparently the God is they are becoming much stronger than we can all envision, that we can all envisage. So I think basically we really need to get to at times people keep talking about the presidency and all whatnot, I keep ascribing the bulk of the blame to the National Assembly. Rise up, put the president on his toes, show him that, let the president know that, look, you are our representatives. That's the truth. He's one man president. You are many. You represent several other places. It is not just about whipping, it's not about making statements. Make it clear to him, Mr. President, we do not want this again. Curb it. Otherwise, we will use some of the tools that are available for us within the ambit of the Constitution. If you are not capable, step aside. A lot of things could be done.
All right. We'd like just hold the thought there. We'll take a quick break, and then when we return, we'll continue with this discussion. So please don't go away. All right, you're welcome back. We have retired Major Yinka of the United States Army joining us via Zoom now to talk about this issue of the Kuje Correctional Facility attack. Hello, good morning, sir. Good to have you join us for this discussion. All right, so would you like you to share your thoughts with us on this Kuje Correctional Facility attack, and share your thoughts with us on how to forestall future attacks?
Major Yinka, you are on air. Major Yinka, you are on air. I think we have to come back.
Okay, we'll get back and correct that and come back to that. But I want us to look at the president's response after when he visited the scene of that attack. And let's weigh that his reaction to know that if he's really strong enough to forestall future occurrences in that attack. He said, "I'm disappointed with the intelligence system. How can terrorists organize, have weapons, attack a security installation, and get away with it? How did the defenses at the prison fail to prevent the attack?" He said, "How many inmates were in the facility? How many of them can you account for? How many personnel did you have on duty? How many of them were armed? Were there guards on the watchtower? What did they do? Does the CCTV work?" He asked so many questions. So, with this reaction, I think this is the first time the president is actually showing so much, let me say, aggression or disappointment. Is this enough to forestall?
No, that's not enough. We see all those questions. You should have, number one, the president should have asked the minister first.
The minister
That's
first.
the truth.
I listened to the minister.
You should have asked the minister. The minister said that that Kuje was one of the
most fortified.
fortified. So if Kuje was one of the most fortified, then you can imagine what is happening in other places. The president talked about the tower. Where is the tower? It's placed in an innocuous place within the facility. So he's talking about the CCTV. Who answers that question? So apparently, I think the president should do more than this. That's the truth. He should call the minister to question. He should call the Controller General and ask him all these questions. And if they fail for whatever reason, there is nothing wrong in relieving them of their position. And without missing what we really need, capable hands. And one of the problems that we have had over the years, especially in the past 7 years, is that in some of these offices, some of these ministries and government agencies, it has been man, no man, not necessarily about competence, not about capacity. There are a lot of Nigerians that can do this thing, do this job, and do it adequately. So, but we have that kind of a problem. Yes, this man has to come because it's my father, it's my brother from a particular place, then he has to be in charge. And you know that this man is not doing enough. He's not doing well. Relieve him of that position. Bring in somebody that is competent.
Well, the minister was quoted to have said that the insurgency and all forms of criminality was a phenomenon that was about to end. That these are the signals of the end in sight of this insurgency. Do you agree with him?
Well, I don't agree with him. That's the truth. I don't agree with him. And in all fairness with him, he wasn't sincere, even with himself. We need to be sincere with ourselves. It has happened. In fact, if they say that this has not happened just once, it has happened almost about 14 times. And you are still telling us that it's a phenomenon that this thing will soon end. It's, in fact, the aggression is becoming more daring. They are becoming much bolder than ever before. Extremely audacious. So if they could take this kind of a step, then it's not ending.
How many cases do you have in court on these, those who have been arrested and being prosecuted? Do you know about any ongoing cases?
Well,
out of these 14 attacks, we have cases in court.
Oyo, Plateau, Benin, Kogi.
Well, in all of these cases that we are talking about, no one has ever come out to say we caught the perpetrators. They were never arrested. They were never caught. Not even CCTV camera could show the footage of what happened. There was apparently no, and you know, imagine 300 people within Abuja, and they left. Not even a single.
With an additional.
Not even one of them was arrested.
Number.
You imagine this kind of, and then somebody is now telling us that we saw a fleeing inmate in Kogi. We saw another fleeing inmate in Nasarawa. 2 of them. We even sure that they were the part of the Boko Haram people that were freed. And I think by and large, government should own up to this failure. It is only when you accept that you have failed in this area that you'll be able to correct the failures.
All right, let's go on to another topic now. Are you okay?
I just want to find out the implication of these inmates that have been let loose, whether they were rescued or there was a jailbreak, the implication on the society. Do you think we are safe? 60 terrorists, high-profile terrorists.
68.
In
somebody said 64, somebody said
so
68.
How can we assess the level of security of people? I recall a case of an inmate who escaped from Benin prison and was said to have gone back to attack the family that testified against him, and he actually wiped them out. So I'm looking at what's the implication.
Well, number one, it has this invasion has really strengthened the resolve of all these guys. That's number one. Then number two, they are now reinvented back into their peculiar system. They are likely to be bolder and stronger than ever before. And those who, one way or the other, were instrumental to their being caught won't be
spared.
100% peace as we speak now. They are at risk. So I think having them back into the free society means that there is a problem on our hands.
All right, we have a retired Major Yinka of the U.S. Army on the Zoom now, and he's going to be responding to the issue at hand, which we're talking about, the issue of the Kuje Correctional Facility attack. All right, Major, retired Major rather. Good day, sir.
How are you doing this morning?
All right. Okay, so we are talking about forestalling future attacks when it comes to these kind of attack on correctional facilities. So we'd just like you to tell us what are your thoughts on forestalling future attacks.
Okay, there's no one recipe to try to forestall the future attack. It's going to be a combination of things that has to be done. And the most important thing is going to be intelligence gathering and painting the right intelligence picture overall. Because if what we're hearing is true, there's some things that are occurred prior to the attack that should have raised an eyebrow. Each the rumors is, of course, that the soldiers in the area were released on duty 24 hours prior. I'll be very much interested in who gave that order and trying to see the reason behind it. Because to me, somebody somewhere knew something. You see, you can't have a group of terrorists show up at the facility. What did they do? And there's no way that the security agencies don't have some kind of information about it. There must have been talking on cell phones or some other communication devices. Are we gathering intelligence? That's the first question I would ask.
Now, are you suggesting that there was a complicit, a kind of, our guest here has said that there must be an insider's input into that attack? Do you agree? Do you agree that there was a kind of sabotage from within the facility itself?
It appears so. It can't be confirmed as of now. But if you look at how they were able to quickly get into the compound, somebody has been in that area scoping out that facility, or somebody within the facility must have given them the layout of the facility. You know, they didn't have to struggle too long. They knew exactly where to place their bombs and to break in. So somebody must have tipped them off on what to do.
All right, so could you tell us maybe one or two things that could be done by government to forestall future attacks?
Well, the prison is supposed to be a medium prison. And I was surprised that due to the nature of insurgency in Nigeria, they could put all insurgents from a particular terrorist event in one location. That kind of defeats the purpose. What I'm trying to say is, you know, if you arrest this group of terrorists, why would you put every one of them in one single prison when you can spread them out? You know, all over the country. When you put them in one location, you make their job easier. And two, like I said in my previous interviews, the security agencies need to be asking shit, knowing what he knows. That man knows way too much about the terrorists and negotiation, and he's working free. I've never seen anybody that will have a free roam of information with terrorists. He's meeting with them, he's negotiating on their behalf, he's making statements that's borderline threat to the federal government, and he's working free.
All right.
Okay, it's not right. So if you, I asked you this question before. If you have an opportunity to speak with the president was said to have lamented at the poor state of security at that facility. What would you tell the president that's beyond lamentation? What practical steps should he take immediately? Or the Minister of Internal Affairs?
Honestly, I'll tell you the truth. The president, the Minister of Interior Affairs, the DG, whoever is directly in charge, should be relieved of their duty. That's a total dereliction of duty. They should be telling people, the Nigerian people, exactly what happened. And two, why do they have single layer security defense in these facilities? Once you breach the wall, there's nothing else. Most prisons have a triple system fencing. If you breach one, you're going to run into another barrier that's going to slow them down so that you can get help and reinforcement from nearby military facility or police facility. But we have a one-point failure system. You blow the wall, boom, the entire prison is wide open. So if I have audience with the president, it has to be a very frank conversation that if from top to the bottom, nobody's doing anything security-wise in Nigeria. Nobody is doing anything. To me, they're doing a lot of talking and zero action.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Did you hear the last thing he said?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You, sir. We've been talking with retired Major Yinka of the United States Army. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Did you hear the last thing he said? He said it's been more of talking, no action.
Rhetorics, no action.
So it's similar to what ASU actually said anyway, Jumoke, because I know we are transiting to. Yeah. ASU is asking President to stop lamentation, that he should address the issues. Now, our guest has equally reiterated that point, that this is not an issue of lamentation. The action is required. So, for how long should we continue to discuss an issue? This is the 14th incident of jailbreak. No one can tell us categorically that this is the end.
If we even listen to what he said, well, he said there's already a loose end. Talking about who changed
the people 24 hours before
that
period.
He said there's already a loose end that he expects them to have taken advantage of. Who gave that instruction? He said that's the loose end that They should pursue.
And
it will now give them a way into knowing what exactly
and
happened.
apparently the people that invaded, they knew there was going to be a change of guard. And they knew fully well that, look, it will take this time, within so period of time, for another set of people to come. They have insiders. That's the truth. But unfortunately, like I said, like the man said too, rhetorics without action. By now, the minister should have been questioned. The Controller General should have been questioned. And if they are found wanting, they should be relieved of their position. They are competent hands that can do this.
All right, let's just go straight into
you know, President Buhari is not known to sack.
You don't want to leave.
He's not known to sack anybody.
That's the truth.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about ASUU. ASUU says the federal government are the ones who had been breaching agreement reached with it, and should be the ones saying enough is enough. ASUU said they should be the ones saying enough is enough in response to the president's speech in Daura 2 days back. What's your take on that?
Well, I think basically
the government has been the one breaching their agreement.
I think basically it shouldn't. In fact, if the government is saying enough is enough, and ASUU is saying enough is enough, both of them are not feeling the brunt. They are not feeling the punches of these actions. They are not the people that are suffering it. They are outside there. It is the students, it is the educational sector that is suffering it. And I think, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to spare both ASUU and the federal government. Yes, the federal government, yes, might not have met some of the so-called demands. And ASUU too, look at it. You have told us from time without numbers that you are fighting to better the educational sector in Nigeria, but you are worsening it. This unduly elongated strike has compounded the woes of that sector in Nigeria.
Should they continue working without government?
No, the question is this:
playing their part of the.
What are the parts that we are talking about? You wanted your salary to be on a particular scale or whatever. Yes, these are issues. IPPIs. And this, we need to ask ourselves some questions. We need to ask ourselves some questions. If the damages, the collateral damages of my action is going to be more than what I seek to redress, then I need to ask myself questions. I want a better university setting, isn't it? That's what you are asking for. Let there be facilities. Let the labs be better equipped and
libraries.
The library, let it be better equipped. And you want to equip the library. You want infrastructure. You now embark on a strike. In which case, the same set of students that have been managing that thing that you say is not good enough, they don't even have anything to fall back upon. If somebody is supposed to graduate within 4 years in Nigeria and is spending 7 years, are we helping them? So I think this collateral damage, these are things that we should ask ourselves. And you need to bear one thing in mind, that most of the students that are in our institutions in Nigeria, they are not the students of these people in government. They might not be that bothered. And again, some of these so-called ASUU people, at the end of the day, you still earn this your salary, whether it is IPSS or whatever.
There are no work, no pay.
They will be paid.
They will, of course, by the time
they will be paid.
See,
it's not only about ASUU now. Is this SANU now? They call SANU.
Yes, Senior Staff Association.
They are not working as we speak now. Nothing seems to be happening. A lot of students that ought to be in school, few number of them have taken to crime. They have taken to things that they shouldn't be involved in. I think what we need to ask ourselves, you see, all this grammar, that won't solve our problem. We need to be practical. ASUU needs to be practical. All of us need to be practical.
What other way do you think they can make their demands? They can push for their demands.
I think basically, if I were to be in their shoes,
yeah,
the bulk of this problem, their strike, rather than embarking on this pocket of strikes, there could be a synergy reached with the NLC, reached with NUPENG. You understand what I'm talking about? There are some few
to ground the economy.
Yes, no, I'm not asking anybody to grant. I'm saying that there are few more. There are few trade unions whose impact will be felt better, rather than reducing our children to non-entities on the street. You can collaborate with them, and if that happens, I'm sure this government will listen to them. And again, some of these your requests, some of these your demands, if we already have brain drain in Nigeria, you are sure of that. A lot of our doctors, they are outside this country. And these issues can be narrowed down to one thing. If I'm no longer interested in working for the federal government, I'll pick a job with the private universities. Let those who want to work there go and work there. So I think we just need to ask ourselves so many questions. I'm not saying that the demands of ASUU should not be met. I have not said that. But I'm telling you without missing word that you are creating greater problems.
But from what the speeches of the president, the spokesperson to the president, and everybody managing the educational sector in this country, it appears as if government is not willing to offer more than what it has already offered.
Let's assume that
to offer more. So are we in a state of stalemate? Permanent stalemate.
Let us assume, without missing word, that they don't even have the capacity to do more than what they are doing. Will ASUU now continue forever to embark on this strike?
That's the question, sir.
So we need to ask, if what you are framing, you are my employer, if I'm not happy with it, I know what to do. I'll drop your job and go to where I can get a better job. That's the truth. Rather than destroy these children, if I'm a secondary school teacher and the student, I abandon them just because my allowance was not paid to me, then it means my primary duty has been reduced to nothing. I think we should tell ourselves the truth. I'm not saying that your demand should not be met, but I am saying so. What I'm saying is that the action that you have taken, it is unduly long and it is destructive to the entire system.
Okay.
I think we should just hang it there.
So let's move into talk about the APC Muslim ticket. That's one is causing a lot of rancor now and discussion. What's your thought on that?
Well, basically, I've had cause to listen to a lot of commentaries, and you see, the way I looked at it is this. Number one, it is the constitutional right of the APC candidate to pick his running mate. Nobody can do that for him. And again, I ask this question: if you are saying somebody should not emerge just because he's a Muslim, that is discriminatory. That's my second. And again, I looked at it from this point. I really share in the anguish of the pockets of the Christian politicians in the north. Their expectation was that, look, there is nothing anybody will do. They have to pick one of us. And you know, in politics, nobody goes into it to lose. Everyone wants to win. And you imagine that the vice presidential candidate to the LP is a Muslim. The presidential candidate to PDP is a Muslim. And basically, if they want to pick a Christian that maybe perhaps for obvious reasons will not have the capacity to deliver, why should you give it to him? I sum this up by saying that, look, the 90% of those that are criticizing the Muslim ticket today, it's really about one man. It's about the candidate of the APC. 90% of them were never interested in him. They would not even vote for him. They are merely saying this because so that he could run into some bait. He could fall into their bait and fail. Yes, talking about another 10%, they are genuine. They really want the best. And this is where I put the northern politicians who are Christian. But then I know that there should be a way of going round about it, meeting them, discussing with them. At the end of the day, I am sure that they will be able, their interest will be secured, and maybe perhaps we'll be left with like 1% again out of that 10. And the 1%.
Your response is very correct.
Yeah,
response is very correct.
No, you are not supposed to.
The situation in Nigeria is not correct.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma.
His situation is correct. No.
But the point is, it's not for us to analyze what.
No. The correctness of his response is there, but the uncorrectness of our situation in Nigeria, we are divided.
Yeah.
So when we talk about equity, fairness, and justice, where does this come in?
And I will now tell you one thing that we are not divided by religion that much. Religion is not politics. Politics is not religion. You will not, if I am a Christian to the glory of God, if I'm going to vie for a position in this country and the man who can pair with me and ensure that I succeed is an Hindu man, why should I reject him? I want to win an election. I don't want to contest to lose. And if I pick a fellow Christian, it's happened before. I will not pick a fellow Christian at a point. He lost. It has happened before. If I picked a Muslim and I'm sure that the Muslim will not guarantee my success, my victory at the poll, why should I hang on to him? And again, some of us, that personally, I believe in one thing, that whoever God wants to send to help you, he will help you, whether you like it or not. Cyrus came in. He did not even know, he never knew God. So apparently, there was no religious exactitude in what God did. He picked somebody who was not even, who never knew him, and he used him to rescue the Jews. Nebuchadnezzar and so many others. So I'm not saying that. My position is this: if Christian ticket will take Nigeria out of the wood, so be it. If a Muslim ticket will take Nigeria out of the wood, so be it. And those that are criticizing, they are not criticizing for good reasons. There are a lot of them for the religious bigotry, very few. Then others, maybe perhaps because of ethnic understanding, they prefer a particular candidate. Before even at the primary level, this same set of people, they have put in a lot of things against this so-called man.
Why did President Buhari reject a Muslim ticket in 2015?
I think it was sheer blackmail. He was blackmailed into doing that.
My question about all of this is this. We have over 14 political parties that are actually going for presidency in 2023. Now, if a particular political party chooses to tread a particular path, and you consider it a dangerous path, if you think it is, I'm asking if Nigerians think it's a dangerous path for them. Yeah. I mean, do they not have several other options?
That's what Bishop Cook has said.
It means we don't have a problem. That's the truth. And you see, somebody said something. In fact, it's one of the best I've seen in recent times. The senator from Kogi, or the former senator, Dino Melaye. I saw something on what is it called, on social media, and he was laughing hysterically. Oh, Jagaban has missed it. That is the attitude I expect people to take. Yes, this man, I'm not supporting you, and because you picked a Muslim, then you are afraid. That is the attitude that they should take, rather than having to eat up the polity unnecessarily on religious sentiment. These people are not religious people. A man spoke in Adamawa, the sex toy guy.
You cannot, Senator Ado.
I can't remember his name. You cannot be telling me you are more Christian than every other person. A sex toy person telling us how to run Christendom. No, basically he has missed it. And again, look, their sentiment. And the sentiment, yes, I'm not averse to people saying, okay, look, it has to be this way, it doesn't have to be this way. They really have a need to say. But as far as some of us are concerned, we are more interested in, number one, what does God want to do? If he says, I want to use a Muslim ticket, there's nothing anybody can do about it. And if that is what to take Nigeria out of our problem, so be it. And if you feel that, look, I'm not going to support you because you are Muslim, don't eat up the polity. Do not eat up the polity. Just go and vote or canvass against him. Just like
I need to ask you this. Why would an opposition be interested, for instance,
because in the
choice of a vice presidential position for another political party?
Because
Papa Edwin Clark was quoted to have said that he would have voted for APC. Somebody we know to be staunch and, in fact, a stalwart in PDP. He said he would have gone ahead to vote for APC. Because what do you say to that kind of line?
It's because, in all honesty, I think the APC presidential candidate has outsmarted them. That's the way I will put it. They never knew he will have that kind of a God. And these are things that we are asking for. Dare and see whether you will win or you will not win. And I think, for me, really, he has done. You see, and again, let's ask ourselves a question. People who could not even come out in their respective states to vie to become governors, you now want to be picked. Even you are intimidated within your state that you don't have the clout to say I want to be governor. Then you now want to be vice president.
But that cannot be said of Lalong.
No, you are talking about Lalong. You are talking about Lalong. You are talking about the Benue people. Talking about they are in the minority. If you're talking about one state or two states, but talking about, let's now come to Adamawa. Baba Shia would have been there. Boss Mustafa would have been there. Where again, maybe perhaps somebody from, but ordinarily, just go and strengthen. I think they should take home a message. As Christians in the North, we need to build ourselves. We need to strengthen. We need to show to the whole world that we are able. In Kaduna State, it was Muslim the last time. They won. It is Muslim again now. Then what are we talking about? In Ekiti, it is Christian. In so many other states, it is Christian. So I think basically we should leave religion out of politics and politics out of religion. Pick your PVC, go and vote the way you want to vote.
So, okay. I think pick your PVC,
vote the way you want.
Your conscience.
Yeah, your conscience.
That's the same thing Bishop Puka said.
Vote your conscience.
Get your
you
PVC
have a avalanche of political parties.
Don't choke up the system with your religious preachings. No, but somebody wants to become your president. He's not going there to preach. The person who wants to become the vice president is not going to be there to sermonize anybody. He doesn't claim to be an Islamic cleric. He's going there to run government.
All right. Going there to run government. I think the center point of discussion henceforth should be issues. What are they going to do for issue-based campaigns and all that? And then enough of religion, bigotry and all
religious blackmail.
God will help us. God needs to help us.
God will help us stabilize Nigeria. God will help us stabilize Nigeria. Maybe this is the way to stability. Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know. My name is Baji Busai. I must thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you again.
Glory boy is my name. Oko Agbaye. I just do my thing my way. I got no beef with no one. Steady on my grind, yeah. Ojú ti rí nǹkan. Ẹ gbà mí, ẹ rà mí, kí ni mo ṣe fún wọn? Kí ni mo ṣe fún wọn? Na wetin I go chop I dey find o. Olúwa dey my back o. No dey wish me bad o. I no fit follow. Na wetin I go chop I dey find o. Olúwa dey my back o. See, I no fit follow. No dey wish me bad o. Ọlọ́run wá bá mi ṣe o. Ọlọ́run wá bá mi ṣe o.